Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. And this is your exclusive interview show. This is where I bring on players or people in the cricket industry and we just have a chat about cricket and get to know them a lot better. Now, as you guys know, we launched a women's show on Thursday. It's an all-woman show, just with a woman panel, and we're obviously talking about cricket and allowing them to empower themselves through cricket and have a voice in cricket. And obviously, one of the major talking points that came out of that was the Women's Super League. So the Women's Super League is something that I'm going to be attending, and I think it's an excellent initiative from Cricket South Africa to give a woman an opportunity to showcase their talent in front of. It used to be in front of crowds, but now with coronavirus, it's going to be behind closed doors now. But it will be streamed, so that will be an awesome opportunity for a lot of people to see the talent in women's cricket. So I'm going to bring on some of the teams for you right now, so that you can just get a brief history about it. We have the coronations over here. You can see the talent. Laura Wolfart, Ayabonga Kaka over here as well from the Proteas. We've got Tasman Brits over here too. So there's exceptional talent. And obviously the captain, Nadine de Klerk, you'll remember her from her awesome performance against Australia in the World Cup. And then obviously we have another team over here with the Duchesses and Mignon Dupree. And you have Sune Lewis and Faye Tunnicliffe. These are some of the names that you can talk about and some of the ones that stand out. You can move on to the next team as well, just to give you guys a brief overview. We got Lizelle Lee, Andre Steyn as well, Laura Goodall as well, all players that have played for the Proteas before. And then you've got a young up-and-coming talent like Andre Globbelaar in that team as well. Then you have all the Thistles, and you got Trisha Chetty, and you've got so many young talent over here too. So what I thought is the perfect opportunity for me to now bring on a young talent. When I've spoken to some young coaches, they've mentioned the name as well. So I'm very interested to see what she's capable of. I'm obviously going to be watching the tournaments. I'm going to watch her in action, but this is an opportunity for her to obviously showcase her talent in the tournament amongst these Proteas players. So before I get started, I'm going to introduce her to her very soon, but I just wanted to show you some footage of her playing in the nets. Her name is Madison Landsman, and I'm very excited to see what her story is and hear what her story is, because always in young cricketers always have the opportunity to tell me what they think and what they thought processes are in cricket, and as well as what their journeys are. But let me first show you some footage of her in the nets, because I know that it's very rare that you get to see a talent like this perform. So without further ado, here's the footage. So guys, as I said, Madison's on the stream with me right now, so we're going to have a quick chat. Welcome to the show. It's your first time on the show. I'm very nervous actually sitting here in front of you, being able to talk to a person that has obviously been selected for this, and at such a young age. First and foremost, what was it like for you to hear that you were going to be a part of this tournament?
Well, first, thank you for having me on this. When I found out, I think I was honestly lost for words. Like, I mean, this is a really big step in, obviously the direction that I want to go in. It's a big step towards my future and everything in cricket. So there isn't really a way to explain the way I felt when I found out. When I first heard I got drafted, that was already massive for me, the fact that they were considering me for this type of a tournament. And now that it's all real and that it's happening this weekend, I think it's incredible, really.
Yeah, I mean, you hear so many stories about young cricketers in the country. I just wanted to know what your history is. How were you introduced to cricket, first and foremost?
Well, I always played cricket with my dad. Like in the garden. Garden cricket was really big for us. We always did all sorts of sports. With a tennis ball and just half a pitch, and we just had every weekend almost we would play and just enjoy ourselves, really. And I didn't realize that what I was doing was something that I was just going to fall in love with, and want to do it for the rest of my life. And one afternoon, a friend of my dad's came and he saw us playing, and he saw me, and he said that he was going to start coaching at my primary school the following week. And he said to me, why not come and try? And I did, and I think since then, I was about 11 when that happened. And since then, I've just fallen in love with it. And yeah.
Yeah, and I mean you've represented Eastern Gauteng for in all age groups almost, under 13, under 16, well, as well as the women's side. I mean, at the young age, what has that been like walking into teams where there are seniors around you? Like, what has that taught you, and what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned about that experience?
I've been very fortunate when going into those teams. Everyone's been very welcoming, and they've been very open to help me and being very supportive through all the age groups that I've been through. I think every time I've gone into a new team, especially the women's team, I've seen it as a learning opportunity for the future. And, just listening to the things that they've all been through with cricket and how they've coped with the different levels and stuff like that, and different match situations and all that. It's really helped me just, develop my own game and be able to cope with everything that happens and really just learn more and more about the game. And I think that's what's special about going through all the different teams, is that you learn and all that.
Yeah. So when you grew up, who were some of the heroes that you looked up to? Because I mean, I spoke to some of the older women's players, and they never really had a lot of female cricketers to look up to. Really, they had to look up to a lot of the men's players, and that was the struggle. I mean, I've spoken to Denisha Devnarain, who's the under-19 coach, and she told me the same thing. A lot of the time she was playing with the boys, and I saw on your CV that you made a lot of the boys teams. What was that like as a girl coming into boys teams and then becoming captain of those teams as well, and like dominating amongst other male cricketers? What was that like, that experience?
Well, when I first started playing, I was in primary school, obviously, and I went there to the nets, for our trials for, I think it was the under 11 team. And I sort of walked there and I knew everyone, but no one knew me as someone who would play cricket. And I got there and they sort of laughed at me and they said, there's the netball trials are that way on the other side. Why are you here? And I said to them, no, I'm going to try here, and see what happens. And I did, and it went very well. I got selected, and since then, I haven't really had to worry about, being a girl playing in the boys team, because everyone's sort of, if I belonged there because I was, I had, well, I would say just good enough to make the team.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sort of it was easy almost, I would say. Everyone was fun, and I've been very lucky to have lots of supportive people, around me, and everyone's always been nice, and supportive.
Yeah.
And with the boys, we just always had fun. That was how cricket was for us, and so it was never really an issue of, Now with high school, I'm lucky because there's obviously more girls teams and all of that. That's all growing. But yeah.
Oh, so there are more girls teams now. Now that you've gone through the system now, because there wasn't always a lot of opportunities for girls cricket. So the schooling in girls cricket at school level, is it increasing? Is it a lot better now?
When I was in primary school, throughout primary school actually, I never knew that there was a women's Proteas team. But it's never really been heard of because, women's cricket was always pushed aside. And I feel like as it's grown over time, and it's grown so much over the last years, that things like in primary schools, I know my primary school didn't have a girls team. And then by the time I had left, there was girls who started coming to training for the first time. I was the first girl in my school to start playing cricket.
Wow.
And I know that in high school, there's been a first team, just one girls team for high schools for a while now. But I feel like, each year it feels like more and more girls are trying, and more girls are, being inspired to play cricket by the fact that women's cricket is gaining more coverage on things like Super Sport and all of that. So it is definitely growing outside of school. And I'm glad to see that it does look like it is growing a lot in school as well.
Okay, cool. So who were some of the heroes that you looked up to when you were growing up?
Like you said, Denisha said, when I was small, obviously I didn't really know about women's cricket. So AB de Villiers was obviously always my hero. I think he's pretty much everyone who loves cricket's hero. Just the way he is. His name is kind of, it explains it all. But as women's cricket has grown, and now I know where I want to go, and people like Laura Wolfart, who I'm very excited to play alongside this weekend. Elise Perry, I think she's everyone's hero in women's cricket. I mean, she's incredible. Danae Finneycake as well. Obviously, she's a wrist spinner as well. So, watching her, learn from her and all that. So, yeah.
So, have you had the chance to meet any Proteas women before this actual tournament? Have you had a chance to meet a lot of them?
I did have the chance last year when they played against Pakistan. When Pakistan came here, they played at Willamore. And a friend and I to spend the day with them in the change room and, help out. And so I did get to meet everyone. I doubt any of them remember me, but I remember that day very clearly. It was, it was pretty good.
So you have to expand on it. So one of your heroes you're going to be playing with, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
What is it going to be like to walk into a team and see Laura Wolfart? I mean, she's a world superstar right now. Some people say that she has the best cover drive in the game, not necessarily only in women's cricket.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on that? How excited are you about that opportunity?
Again, it's another thing, there aren't many words to describe how excited I am. I mean, this experience is going to be massive. And I think just to, be in the same change room and to listen to them speak about their game and everything is going to be massive. I mean, Laura Wolfart, you say about her cover drive. I love the cover drive. If I get the chance to play it, I'll play it. So, yeah, watching her is just like, watching someone that's like out of a textbook. It's almost perfect. So I'm very excited to be able to learn from someone like her.
So I'm just going to open up the floor to you right now. You can maybe punch some of your social medias, and also you can just say a word of thanks to some of your coaches or your parents or whoever you want to say thank you to for getting you to the point that you are right now.
I'm very, very thankful for my parents. They have been incredible from the moment I started playing cricket. When I didn't take it seriously or anything, they were there for every sport that I've done. They've been there at every match that they could possibly be at. They've driven across provinces to watch me play. They've done more than I could ever ask for, and I'll always be grateful for them. They were going to come to Cape Town as well, but now obviously with coronavirus they couldn't. Yeah. So, the amount of support that they have for me and everything that they do, I'm just so grateful. And my sister as well, she's 2 years younger than me, so she's also very busy with school and everything, but she's still always there on the side of the cricket field and supporting me, and I'm just very grateful for all of them. And coaches, I've had a couple of really great coaches over the years. My coach Adele, she's going to be the coach of the Coronations that I'm playing for. She's helped me a lot through the years. I think I met her when I was 12, and since then she's been very supportive and helpful with everything. So yeah.
Okay, and lastly, there's going to be a young lady or a young girl that's going to be watching this particular interview, and obviously you're an inspiration to the next generation automatically, especially with you being in this WSL. Is there a piece of advice that you can give the next girl that is going to be in your shoes, and maybe before that, someone that has picked up the bat now for the first time?
Well, I think it's like, for me, you can make it sound simple, but it's not simple, to be able to go to these things. It's just to work hard. I mean, there's nothing else really to it. With me, when I first started cricket, I wasn't the greatest batter. I bowled not so great either, but I just persevered and worked hard because I knew that I loved it and I wanted to make something out of it. So, my dad and I, we've gotten up at 5:30 every morning, going for runs, going to as many practices as I can every week. And I feel like that's just, I wouldn't say the key, but like a very important factor is just working hard, because there's no shortcuts to any of these things. And for me, just working hard is the most important thing.
That's awesome. So that's a perfect way to end the stream. Thanks a lot for coming on the show. To the guys that are watching, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Of course, we have a magazine, a digital magazine, Go and download that. It's free. So subscribe to that, guys. The link is on the screen and in the description as well. For all your updates, cricketfanaticsmag.com. You can go find all of our updates on there, especially with the Sri Lanka series happening, and obviously with the WSL as well. We'll be covering that as well, so we'll be there for all those games. Thanks a lot to everybody for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.